been Nevadans for a while, and I've been a Nevadan for about 20 years. I love being a Nevadan. Before that, I lived in Tampa, which called us tampons. It's true. I mean, that really got me seeing red. I mean, if I could pull a few strings to change that, I would. I mean, it totally cramped my style. So I went to the community manager. I said, can you do something about it? She says, I don't want to hear any more about it, period. So I've been in corporate America for 40 years, and it's great to be retired and out of corporate America. So I've always had a little teaching part because I've always been a corporate trainer. So training's been my thing. So I thought we would talk about oronyms today. Does anybody know what an oronym is? No? Okay, so an oronym is when you hear a word one way and it means something, and then you hear it again and it means something else. Like, I ate a bowl of ice cream. When I go to a horror movie, I scream. See, that's an oronym. Any medical professionals in here? Okay, good. So this man is in the hospital. He has a mask on. And he's in the hospital. The nurse comes in. She says, is there, I'm going to do just a bath for you. He says, Miss, I need to know, are my testicles black? She's like, I'm just doing a wet bath, a sponge bath, that's it. He goes, I need to know, are my testicles black? She says, okay, I'll check. So she starts pulling over the blankets and looking, and he starts to struggle, and she puts everything back, and she said, you'll be happy to know that your testicles are not black. He said, Miss, what I've been saying is, are my test results back? Good example of an oronym. So, if I say euthanasia, am I talking about a peaceful way to die? Or am I talking about young people in Asia, the euthanasia? And I had someone say, I want to talk about tennis shoes. And I was like, tennis shoes? Let's talk about tennis shoes. And they said, no, I want to talk about 10 issues. Not what I wanted to hear. So this couple was dating for a while, and they decided to get intimate for the first time. And so he took off his shoes, and she was looking at him, and she said, oh, what's wrong with your toes? And he said, I have polio. She goes, polio? No, polio. It's just it affects my toes. Okay. Oh, what happened to your shins? He goes, I have shingles. Shingles? No, it's just my shins, shingles. Okay, I'm not real familiar with this medical terminology. Then she looked at his knees. She said, what's going on with your knees? He said, I had measles. Okay. Then she's looking at his thighs. She's like, what's up with the thighs? He said, they're kind of sore. They're psoriasis. She's like, oh my gosh. Well, he finally takes off his pants, and she says, I think I know what that is. Smallpox. So when I was about 20, I first learned about oronyms, and I had a whole sheet of them. And I would read the sentence, and I had the nicest boss in the world, a very nice, upright, righteous Mormon guy, and he sat in this glass office, and I'd walk by, and I'd have a sentence I was ready to use. And while he was concentrating, I'd walk up and say, can I get your ass for a quarter? He'd be like, pardon me? I said, can I get you a glass of water? I'm heading to the cafeteria, coffee, tea, water, and then I'd innocently walk away. So then I'd go with my friends, and I'd go, here's the next one we're gonna do. And I'd walk over, and they'd be peeking over the cubicle, watch me walk to his office. He'd be concentrating, I'd say, tickle your ass with a feather. He'd be like, pardon me? I said, particularly nasty weather. Oh yeah, we're talking about the weather, okay. So, more examples of oronyms. So it's been started with me for a while. Red Skelton, one of the things that Red Skelton used to use as an oronym, he'd say, the head of Lost and Found is Helen Hunt. So if while you're here you lose your wallet, You lose your cash, you lose your diamond, well, you can just go to hell and hunt for it. So my dad, he said, I want to start a couch company. I'm like, a couch company? He goes, yeah, like Mattress Kingdom, I want to call it Couch Kingdom. I said, Dad, I think you better call it Sofa Kingdom. Or would that be Sofa Kingdom? Another Oreo. A man went into a brothel, and at the brothel, they paraded out the ladies, and finally he said, I'll have her, please. And they said, you can't have any of our ladies with herpes. So my husband gets words kind of messed up. And when we were first dating, we'd been dating a little while, and then one day he said, I'd like to have a monotonous relationship with you. I said, monotonous? You want to have a monotonous relationship? He goes, yes, I'd like to have a monotonous relationship with you. I said, I don't think you'll find that with me. And he looked at me like I was a player. And I said, I think you mean monogamous. He's like, yeah, that's what I meant. I'll never let him live that one down. Okay, well, thanks for playing with me. That's all I have for tonight.